Yo, what's up you lot, welcome back to the channel. It's Ellis. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make insane cinematic samples for people like Southside, Future and all that lot from scratch. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here, that's just because I want to focus on things like, you know, sample placements and all that sort of stuff. Pretty much just my own sound. Yeah, I'm back now, like actually back, unlike what I said before. I'm going to be more consistent. I'm going to upload at least once a week, maybe twice. I'm going to get like people on the channel and stuff. I've got like loads of stuff planned. I even asked you lot actually, like for ideas and stuff on my Instagram. I'm sure to go follow me on Instagram at ellislostbeats. Pretty much from like, you know, the time I've been off here, I've managed to work with people like, you know, G Herbo, Southside, Riley Rebel. Yeah, let's get into it. So as you heard from the beginning, this is the sample, you know, crazy, proper like cinematic sort of stuff. Pretty much this is the first sound which you mainly hear in the actual piece. So that just sounds crazy in itself. Pretty much this sound has been properly flipped. Like this is what it sounded like before. So yeah, it sounds like completely different than the actual main sort of loop, but you can kind of hear like a bit of resemblance within this and the actual loop. Of course, with these analog sounds, if you hear like most sort of analog samples and stuff, they're probably from this VST. It's got all these different like analog modulators, as you can see, from actual like hardware pieces. So instead of having to go out and buy like pay like a few grand on like, for example, the Prophet 5, I've got it right here. I can just click on that and I've got the sounds. This sound was from the Mellotron. This is what it sounds like. So it just sounds like a really sort of old, you know, string sort of sound. So yeah, as you can see, this is in C# minor. Pretty simple, really, to be honest. Like when you look into it, it's actually just a normal C# minor chord, and I just put the C# up another octave as well. And I added the E here, which is just the second part of the chord, just put up there. And then for the second half, all I did was I brought down this E to a D#. So this C# and D# pretty much creates like tension because it's got like no gap in between the notes, as you can see here. So all I'm doing really is I'm using all these notes here. It's literally from the chord. It's literally just from the chord. It's that simple. 3 notes, all I need. I change it here with G# and D# just to add some alternation. But yeah, it's literally that simple. 3 notes, whole melody, just from that. Yeah, after that, I export the sound out, as you can see here, and I'm just gonna play it right now. So first of all, reversed it. You can kind of hear it there. I brought up 300 cents. I didn't like time stretch it at all. What I did was I just took one part of it here, because pad sounds usually have like a sort of attack to them sort of thing. So I just took like one end of it. As it's reversed, I took the first end. But if we go into the effects here, this is it without the effects. With the effects, all I did was I added a halftime here. Just a simple sort of like 30% mix right here. As you can hear from that, it sort of like boosts the lows a little bit, like add some low mids just to add some bass to the sound so it doesn't sound so high. Just a tiny bit of reverb right here, normal sort of effects and stuff, nothing crazy. EQ. This EQ right here, as you can see, this really does help change the sound, since there was a lot of weird frequencies which I didn't really want in the sound. That I just did a simple high cut, and then I used the bell feature just to take out some frequencies, since without it, like for example, I would disable this. I enable it. It sounds a lot more cleaner and it gives more space for other sounds to come into this sort of loop, you know what I mean? And then after that, I just added the stereo shaper just so it's more like around your ears. So again, I have more space for adding more sounds sort of thing. This is the main thing that you hear in the loop. And so yeah, just before I go on to like the other parts, I just want to say you should really experiment with what you're doing, because this was primarily came out of experimenting. It sounded nothing like it does now. Literally just experiment with sounds and trust the process, pretty much. So that I added a simple sort of contact piano thing. I've covered this before in my past tutorials, even though they were ages ago. So I think I'm going to go back over it. Pretty much this is a contact piano. It's just noir piano, as you can see here. It's the noir felt piano. I didn't add anything to it, like any effects, just a basic sort of piano. What I've done here, as you can see, is I've just turned it up, took out the lows. That's literally it. You can hear where that sounds evil sort of thing, you know what I mean? So I play those two together. Literally it, just one note, that's it. I only really wanted that just to like, you know, fill out the loop and makes it sound more cinematic. On to the next sound, got this contact vocal phrase. This bank right here is called the Voices of Gaia. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's this one right here. And all I did was I went to Francesca, went to phrases by key, and went to, as you can see, melodic 100 BPM. They can be altered, so really the BPM and stuff, it doesn't really matter too much. Pretty sure this is the VST which is used in Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar's The Range Brothers one. It's pretty good for like vocal phrases and stuff. Like it's got a lot of misses, but it's also got a lot of, you know, good sounds. Pretty much it's just simple, these two notes, and as you can see I cut off here just because if I kept this on, didn't want that sort of excess sort of sound right there. And then I added all these effects. Like this is it raw. It still sounds pretty cool, but it doesn't sound like it would fit in the mix sort of thing. Just added a normal compressor, just a TR5 bus compressor, just to compress like a tiny bit, as you can see. To be fair, it's compressed a little bit, but it's just because as it's a natural vocal sound, the volume, you know, it increases and decreases. And then I added a ton of reverb right here, 4 second decay, mixed at 60%, took up the low cut. To add on to that reverb, I added an Echo Boy, which is pretty much just the delay plugin. I added it on a quarter note, took up the low cut again, added a decent amount of feedback and a decent amount of mix, and then I added a shape box right here, which I always talk about every tutorial. You're probably gonna see this, but yeah, it's literally just used to pan it. I've used it on 2 bars, so it's quite a slow sort of panning effect. But yeah, from that I was like, okay, this is pretty much done, and this idea is probably gonna look crazy like on its own. Just trust the process, okay? So yeah, I literally went into my drum kits and I found this Z-hat. Somehow I managed to incorporate that into the sample. Took out some of the highs, took out some of the lows, and then I added a ton of reverb, obviously. Almost 6 seconds of decay on that reverb. Love filter again, just take off some of the highs. You can see I put the cutoff frequency to 70%. Shaper box right now, just to pan it again. 1 bar this time, and then just to end off, a Echo Boy, quarter note again. The MIDI, I brought up the velocity and brought it down, so it sounds like it's kind of like coming in and coming out sort of thing. With that use of experimentation, it did sound a lot more better than it used to. Yeah, after I've done that, I exported it out and I added a RC20, just an vinyl 1 preset, added some noise, a bit of wobble, ton of space on like the high ends, added a little radiator. It's actually an amp, but it boosts like the mids of the sound, so if you're going for that sort of cinematic sound, how you use frequencies is very important within that. And then, you know, normal compressor again, just so the sounds aren't peaking. And then, you know, a normal EQ here. For like the preview, I've added a sub bass right here, which will play on its own. As you can hear from that, it's literally just following the bass notes of the actual loop itself. I've just had a normal fruity fast distortion right there, a decapitator to kind of bit crush the sound a little bit, and a blood overdrive to boost the lows. Kind of like cut off the sub bass really short here and here. And these were because this is when the main part of the loop sort of breaks, and when that's when the open hats sort of come in. So as you can hear, it just has great effect on it. So yeah, this is the final sample. If you guys enjoyed all that info from this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys want down below. I'm going to be a lot more consistent with these videos as well. And yeah, expect a lot. So I've got a lot in mind. Appreciate you for watching. See you in the next one.